Let me tell you, folks, Donald Trump and the people around him are in full-blown panic mode right now over what's taking place in Minneapolis and their handling of the ICE shooting of Renee Nicole Good. They have put themselves in an impossible position because the American people know what we saw. We saw a woman murdered in broad daylight, and Donald Trump and ICE decided to defend the agent for some reason, and now people are rightfully pissed off. We are angry. This happened in broad daylight, and they're defending the ICE agent. And so they're in a really bad position, and Kristi Noem's latest stunt has sent Trump insiders into a panic. But before we get into that story, I want to show you what's taking place in Minneapolis right now, because transparently, it's really easy to feel depressed with all of the negative news all the time. But when you see what's taking place, let me tell you, it gave me a little bit of hope. I think it will for you too. So before we get into any of this, make sure to subscribe down below, drop a like on the video, comment, let me know what you think about the story. And as you can probably see by now, there are thousands of people marching in the streets as you're watching this in Minneapolis for Renee Nicole Good, demanding accountability, and they're doing so peacefully. I guarantee that if you hear from Donald Trump or Kristi Noem or whoever it might be about these protests, they will say, oh, it's the domestic terrorist liberals who are being out there and they're destroying things, they're burning things down. None of that is happening. It is peaceful Americans making their voices heard, demanding accountability. And isn't this just inspiring? For me, when I watch this, I get a little bit of goosebumps. I'm saying, man, there are Americans out there who care. There are Americans who see this for what it is, a murder in broad daylight that Donald Trump is defending. Here's another angle that I really think you should see. This is from a local news network, WCCO. It's an affiliate of CBS, of that similar protest on the other side. It's deep. There are thousands of Americans out there in the cold. It's snowing. There's snow all around. They're in the cold. And they're protesting in favor of Renee Nicole Good, demanding accountability. And some of these signs on the ground are fantastic. It's just remarkable to watch. And here's a protest with some audio, and listen to what they're saying. It's so important. Just listen to what they're saying here. Yeah, I mean, isn't that fantastic? And some of these signs, ICE out of Minneapolis, for all that are afraid. There was a People Over Profit sign somewhere over there. And also, check out the American flags being flown. Let's get, where is that? I want to go to the end. There we go. Look at the American flags being flown. You have here, you have in the background, all the way in the background. You have over there. There are plenty of American flags flying because the people who are out protesting against this are the real patriots. They're the people who actually love the United States. The people who are calling this out, they care about our democracy. They care about the rule of law. They don't want a secret police force invading community after community, shooting people in broad daylight who aren't posing any threat. We don't want that. That's the real patriotic take, not the, oh, he was in fear for his life. It was a clear danger to him. The vehicle that was going 3 miles per hour in the opposite direction, that was a real threat to him. And you have some of these amazing signs out here. It's just inspiring. It really is inspiring. And of course, there is some comedy taking place as well. I love this. Unacceptable, just unacceptable. A road possibly associated with Tren de Agua, we're looking into it, left unpaved by Minnesota radicals, weaponized itself against 2 of our courageous officers, causing one to discharge his firearm in self-defense. We stand by our boys. Look at this. Look what the liberals did here to the ICE agents. Oh, it's brutal. Oh my God. The liberals who left the ICE out on the pavement. Can you believe this? This is, and you see, look, watch, he discharged his firearm in self-defense. This was look at that, bang, bang. Look, let's run that back, bang. Yep. He had to, listen, that ICE officer right there had a real threat toward his life. He was fearing for his life. He had to do that. He had to slip and discharge his weapon. I mean, you got to find some comedy in all of it, or otherwise you'll drive yourself nuts. I feel that, Here's another one I saw. I'm going to let it speak for itself. Some real intimidating ICE agents. Sorry. Some real intimidating ICE agents over here. You know, these guys, you never know what they could do. You never know what they could do. They're a real threat. And regardless of all of this, regardless of the protests we're seeing or any of that, some of these ICE freaks are still behaving badly. For example, this video of a woman using her First Amendment right to say "shame on you," and the ICE goon said, "Have you not learned from the past couple of days?" And then he went to snatch her phone. By the way, you have a First Amendment right to speak. You have a First Amendment right to film the police as long as you're not interfering in their operations, which she was not. She just used her First Amendment right to speak. And watch this.
Shame on you.
Listen, have y'all not learned from the past couple of days? Have you not learned?
Learned what? What's our lesson here? What do you want us to learn?
Following federal agents.
Give me my phone.
Wow. I mean, you have these protests out there, and these and the shooting of Renee Nicole Good, and these ICE thugs are still behaving like this, trying to silence Americans who are using their First Amendment right, using their phones to film, which is entirely legal. There's no ICE enforcement operation that she's interfering. Entirely legal, and he snatches it. He tries to grab her phone out of her hand. What, big tough guy grabbing the phone out of the woman's hand? Does he feel big? Does he feel all cool with himself? What a loser. I mean, I'm so sick of these guys. And now I want to talk about the panic that ICE Barbie, as in Kristi Noem, and the Trump insiders are feeling following everything going on in Minneapolis and their awful handling of the Renee Nicole Good shooting. So White House insiders are privately panicking that the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem and other Trump officials are digging ICE into an inescapable hole. Anonymous White House insiders whined to Politico, I love that whined, that Noem and the administration smear campaign against Renee Nicole Good, the 37-year-old mother shot by an ICE agent named Jonathan Ross, only serves to stoke American distrust in ICE, federal law enforcement, and the government. And that is exactly right. I mean, you know, if the Trump regime's goal here was to encourage Americans to trust ICE or just federal law enforcement broadly, that has completely backfired. They've turned even more Americans against what they're doing. There are some diehard MAGA people out there, diehard Republicans who are defending Jonathan Ross. You see it every day. J.D. Vance is out there smearing this mother who was shot. But for your average American who's watching this, we know what we saw. We know what we saw. They are telling us not to believe our own eyes. It is ridiculous and a stupid tactic. On Wednesday, Ross shot her in her Honda Pilot. And minutes after the killing, Kristi Noem, of course, called her a domestic terrorist, saying, "Do I think it's domestic terrorism? Yeah, I do." But a person close to the White House told Politico it might not have been wise to say that at the outset, how Noem said it. You think? It wouldn't be wise to say that at all. She's a 37-year-old mother wearing a beanie in a Honda with her dog in the back of the car. What's the threat? What's the domestic terrorism taking place? I gotta know. One official said, "I don't know how we recover from this. This is highly problematic and not a good look and not something our government should be remotely engaged in." You think? Again, you think? Yeah. No, I don't think the federal government under Donald Trump should be smearing a woman who was shot by an ICE agent. And I really don't see how they come back from it. I'm glad that these Trump admin officials are having a moment of self-awareness to think about what's taken place the past couple of days. It's certainly not Donald Trump making these comments or J.D. Vance or anybody like that. But these Trump admin officials who are saying, yeah, I don't know how we come back from this. I don't know how they came back from or how they were planning to come back from the other ICE raids that we've witnessed with our own eyes, but especially now. I mean, these guys are such slime balls. I really mean it. I really mean it. And I'm glad that they're in panic mode right now. They should be, because the American people are standing up. The American people are pissed off. And if the protests weren't enough, they'll have to wait to 2026 when we all go out there, flood the ballot box with our votes against them.